What's up, everybody? It's your favorite odd case assortments, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Black Series Qi'ra and 4-Lom. Star Wars Black Series case assortments, they need to iron that out. This is basically the same exact case assortment as before, except they swapped out 2 figures and included these 2 figures. It makes buying a case less attractive and ultimately ends up putting a strain on dealers and distributors because they're going to have a hard time moving cases, which is what they prefer to do so that they're not stuck at the end of the day with 1,000. So we'll start with Qi'ra. She comes with the gun, and what's cool about this is it is 2 separate pieces. The silver is painted silver, and it operates. So you can have her loading it and give it back, which will give her perhaps a second thing to do with this hand that otherwise is holding nothing. And I don't see a holster for the gun to fit anywhere. So I don't know if she had one either, though. I've only seen the movie once, so pardon me. The face sculpt is awesome. And if you were looking for a head for a base to do a Daenerys, I think you've got one. And the hair is brown and then dry brushed to lighter brown, and the face itself has the digital face paint, so it's pretty beautiful. Then we have the coat. The vest is over top. It's a softer plastic. It has this beige painted on, and then the beige is washed, so that looks good. And then the rest of the jacket is just plain. Then we have the arms. They are sculpted well. They are on disc hinges that get you out to 90 degrees all the way around. Bicep swivel at the elbow, which is a single hinge, which is what we've come to expect, for better or worse. I should also mention that the head is on a double ball peg once again, so they're continuing with that sort of trend, and I like it. It gets the head up to there, down to there, and then the swivel. A little bit of an issue because of the hair sculpt, but I think ultimately worth the cost of doing business. Then we have the bracelets, which are all sculpted and painted, and then we have the trigger finger hand, which is on a hinge up and down, and then of course swivels, so that is the preferred way to do a trigger finger hand, and the finger is, it can fit inside the gun, the trigger guard very well, and then we have a holding hand for no reason. We have her tunic on the inside, sculpted well enough. Ends up making her look a little, I don't know. It's almost like it's a little chubby. It's not, I don't think it'll bother you with the vest on and stuff. When you start peeling back the vest, it does look like it balloons out a little bit there. And then the chest isn't very well defined either, so I don't know. It's fine. I don't think it'll bother you, and the vest helps cover all the issues. The black is painted on. It does get a little bit outside the lines, but it's ultimately fine. And then we have this softer goods over here, which is her skirt. Heavy dry brush, heavy-handed dry brush of gray there, and then purposefully heavy dry brush down at the bottom, and that looks good. And then all of the bullets are all painted on the belt. We have T-jointed ball joints for hips. Get you a full range there pretty much. Back and forth to there, even with the softer plastic skirt. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee. And then for the bottom, we actually have some pretty interesting stuff. We have some paint at the bottom of the ankle. I don't think that's a separate piece. No. And then we have a ball hinge down at the bottom that's dry brushed also and sculpted nice, which gets you an ankle tilt up, down, and rocker. So really an extremely overall well executed figure. Very nice. And then we get 4-Lom. We have silver paint on the head. We have this accessory. It's just a rifle. There's no paint or anything, but it's sculpted nice enough. Copper paint around the eyes, like for a base coat, and then a metallic green paint on all the the outer pieces of the crackle, which it looks like a black from certain angles, but as you move it around light, a metallic green starts to show up. It's beautiful, but it's very unexpected. Double ball peg inside, the head to the neck, gets the head up to there, down to there, and swivel and everything else. Extremely well done. We have the body here. We have a single ball peg for the waist, and then it gets you a swivel, a little tight. We have a weathering effect throughout. I'm guessing it's a slightly less watered down brown paint, as opposed to a wash. Like it's a brown paint that's like a regular brown paint that's slightly watered down. But it's added very well. A couple times it gets a little sloppy, but for the most part, it really gives you that weathered look that 4-Lom is supposed to have. Now, unfortunately, not everything is good. We do have this red paint there on the chest. That looks good. And the silver paint on the torso. That looks good. The arms. You see how loose they are? They're not connected well. They do have the rod that sits in the middle, so to speak, which allows you to get the elbow bend and then for the kind of piston to slide up and down. But it's falling apart. Like, it feels like a Mafex. And then the hand, a Mafex droid. And then the hand here swivels, but it's a little loose once again because this isn't glued properly. I don't know. And then we have a wrist. I see it just fell apart. We have a wrist hinge in and out on this hand, and then swivel. And then the shoulder is on a disc hinge that gets you all the way up to there, even with the shoulder pad. So that's actually pretty nice. I hope some of that was in focus. Not my day. Same for the other side, except this hand is a wrist up and down. And this hand is loose too in there, but this connection isn't falling apart as well or as much. Oh, that would see, it just fell apart again as this one. So I might add a little dab of glue in there. And then we have T-jointed ball joints for hips. Little limited, but not too bad considering the sculpt. And then you get the thigh swivel as well, and then forward and back. We got a single hinge knee, but it's done like 3POs are done, which I think is proper. I think that's the best way to do it, even though it gets you a little less in the articulation department. I think it's ultimately the right choice. And then we have the feet, which gets you an ankle tilt up, down, rocker, and then all of it has the same painting effect. So it's painted to the nines, it's sculpted well, and they've done some really interesting stuff with stuff. Ow now, brown cow, with the eye paint there. So I think that ultimately it's worthwhile. It's just a bummer that this is kind of a black eye in this one too, on an otherwise fairly flawless face. And there he is with the rest of the kind of bounty hunters available at the moment. Looking pretty good. Pretty good. Final thoughts wise, they're both pretty great, but neither of them are without their issues. The good news is the issues are relatively slim. And the issues here are that mine arm, and you know what, to be fair, it could be an individual results will vary thing. If you have one, please let me know in the comments if you're having the same issue, but my arms are falling apart on that guy like a Mafex 3PO. Her problem's far less significant, the holding hand with nothing to hold and that kind of stuff, so easily forgivable. She's pretty much a knockout figure. He has everything going for him to make a knockout figure except for mine specifically, which has a hard time staying together. So that may not be an issue for you. So it's a strong recommend from me and a strong chastising to Hasbro for their case assortment regarding the Black Series. They need to sort that out. No one's interested in having multiple. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.